Okay. Rise for the pledge. Pledge
I
allegiance
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
to the
republic for
republic for which it stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
visible,
liberty and
liberty, and
justice for all.
justice for all.
Okay. We have the agenda in front of us, and there's a revision to the agenda. Looking to make a motion.
I make a motion to accept the agenda.
No, not yet, Carrie.
Uh,
We're making a motion to amend the agenda to include our meeting day and time being the third Thursday at 5:30 at the Township Building. We have a motion for that?
Move on to 9, new business.
I make a motion for that.
New business,
Non-new business?
right? Number 9, new business.
Want to put it under that, or you want to make
Right,
it?
Michelle?
Yeah,
New business.
and then you will go to that item. And it will show that it's an amendment to the agenda.
Okay.
Which means I just bold it so people can see it. But it lets people know there's an amendment. And then it's under, this will be under new business. So then you all will make your motions to approve the meeting date and time.
So are we making a motion to amend the agenda
Yes,
now?
that's what you did just there.
Okay. Do we need a motion on that?
I took it as Carrie made a motion. All right, you made the motion to amend it, Carrie seconded. So now that's just to amend the agenda
Right.
to add it under new business.
Right.
And then when you get to new business, then you're gonna make the motion to schedule your meetings for the third Thursday of every month, 2025 at 5:30.
Will you remind me?
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, all right. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so be it. All right. We have the minutes from the January 16th meeting. We have motion. We approve those minutes. Motion. We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have
Second,
a motion and a second. Any
Yes.
comments or questions? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay. No correspondence, plan submittals, Resica Falls Road sketch plan. And it doesn't look like anyone's here, or are you on Zoom?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
All right, could you state your name?
Sure, my name is Chuck France. I'm with C2C Design Group, and I'm here this evening virtually on behalf of the applicant.
So we have a plan in front of us showing the sketch plan. And we have comments from Gilmore and Associates. And then we also have comments from the design group. So let's, Ben, do you want to do your comments, or do you want to do the responses? Okay.
I think it might make sense, maybe Chuck just wants to give an overview of what they're proposing. And talk through it, and then, I can certainly go through, again, most of the comments are consistent with our first review letter, that we circulated for prior to last month's meeting. Again, this is a second sketch plan that they submitted. But yeah, we can go through at that point, but Chuck, I don't know if you want to just give an overview of
Sure.
what you're proposing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Thank you. So yeah, the property is located on the west side of Resica Falls Road, between Resica and Chateau Drive. The total site area is about 6.8 acres gross. Then once you adjust the site for the various protected areas and rights of way, you're down to about 4.3 acres of adjusted area. What we're proposing to do is subdivide the property to create 3 lots. Those lots would range from 1.5 acres to just a little over 2 acres. And I apologize, there's a fire engine about to go down the street here if you can hear it. So the proposal is to create the subdivision, and then the use of the lots would be a residential use. We would be proposing twin dwellings, which per your definition of a twin dwelling would be basically separated horizontally. So you'd have units on the first floor and second floor. Our access to the lots would be off of Chateau Drive, which is the local road. We would be proposing to have 5 off-street parking spaces on each of the lots, and each of the lots would be served by on-lot water and sewer systems, so septic and well on each of the lots. That's what we're proposing. We did submit a sketch plan originally, which was mentioned. There was a review letter. We did revise the plan and resubmit for a second sketch review, just to kind of hopefully clear up a couple of things. I've read through the review letter from Gilmore, and the review comments by and large are pretty straightforward. I had a couple of questions for the Planning Commission here this evening. But I can certainly take the lead of the Planning Commission and Gilmore and Associates as far as how you'd like to proceed from here.
Yeah, I think it makes sense if he has specific questions in mind to go through those, and then we can discuss any topics on our end at that point, so.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
Great. So I guess my first question is just really with respect to the billboard that's located along the main road there. Is that, and maybe I'm asking for a little bit of help on that one. Was that a permitted billboard, or was that something that was not ever permitted, or is that, what's kind of the status of that billboard? And maybe that's a difficult question to ask, but I know there were a couple of comments related to the billboard and, maybe how it's going to affect lot area, which, we can certainly make sure everything's netted out. Just wanted to make sure if there was something else that we needed to do in addition to just making sure that the easement area is accounted for, if there's a separate application or something has to be done after the fact.
Yeah, so typically signage is handled by the zoning officer. I don't know if SFM has looked at this application at all at this point. No, they haven't. Yeah, so they're gonna be the people to contact would be the zoning officer to discuss the status on the existing billboard.
Okay.
In our review letter, what we discussed is how, per the definition of the minimum lot area, that's an easement that should be excluded from the calculated, overall lot area. For instance, like a extreme example would be, say the easement was the entirety of the lot. Obviously, we wouldn't want to. It wouldn't make sense to permit a dwelling on top of that, right? In this
Sure.
case, it's just in the corner. And taking a look at it, you still have sufficient area, so it's not really a concern from that perspective.
Agreed. Yeah.
However, given that it's dealing with signage, the zoning officer really should be weighing in on that and its status. So
Okay. That's fine. We can reach out and just make sure that there's nothing else beyond that we're up against here with respect to that billboard.
Do we know who owns that billboard? Is it township owned or is it privately owned?
Our office did not complete a survey. The survey was provided to us by the client who had a different surveyor do the property. So I'm not sure. We haven't done any title search or any information on that yet. So I'm kind of assuming it's the property owner. I know there is a reference to a deed book and page on the easement, but we have not had a chance to dive into that yet on our side of things. Don't know if anyone there at the township would know the answer to that question.
Well,
Bob, Mike.
it's an off-premises sign. And it's been there for a very long time. They're not allowed in our township anymore. And I think that ordinance went into effect around 75. So there's a chance it predates that ordinance. It may be cataloged with the other non-conforming signs. But yeah, you have to check the zoning on that. It was with the property for, well, this was actually under Catherine Davis years ago. So this billboard was part of that property, but I don't know if it was, I never saw anything that came in that made it separate and made it a separate entity. So it's probably still with the property, I would guess, but you'd have to check the deeds on that. See.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, yep, that's fine. We can do the research on the document that's listed there and see if we can make heads or tails of who owns it. And then the only other question I had, the rest of the comments, I think, we can address or will complies. It's either adding information or clarifying some of the calculations that we had. I think the one question I had, which would probably warrant some discussion, as it would impact improvements, would be the under subdivision and land development. There was a question about whether or not sidewalks should be provided. So I guess the question to the planning commission is, do you foresee the need for sidewalks in this area as part of the eventual land development for this project?
That's a
It's a
supervisor's call.
supervisor decision.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys don't make recommendations then to them on the sidewalks then, correct?
Just one of us does.
Fair enough. So that's fine. I'll table that until we're in front of the
No, I
supervisors and
think
ask that
too.
question.
Well, you have another supervisor on the
Yeah,
call.
no, that's just two of them.
Okay.
I think mostly what we do with the sidewalk provision is when we're out here on 209 in commercial is where we'd like to connect sidewalks all together. I don't know much of doing commercial or residential sidewalks in residential zones. I don't know if we have any anywhere, so I don't know why we want to set a precedent and start, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't have the discussion.
Okay. Yep. Understood. Those were really the only two questions I had specifically for the planning commission here this evening. If there's anything, obviously, if you have any questions about the plan or any other comments that are in the review letter, I'd be happy to discuss them with the planning commission here this evening.
Yeah, I think, again, the vast majority of our letter is consistent from last month. Again, I don't see anything that's, particularly problematic for the proposed layout. I think the one, new comment that I just wanted to highlight, this is kind of a subsection that deals with the on-lot water and on-lot septic, but just wanted to kind of emphasize it more. It's just the need for both a primary and a reserve on-lot septic location. So what's currently shown is just one for each lot, but that'll need to be tested and approved, via sewage planning through DEP. So obviously with, some steep slope areas on some of these lots, just wanted to make you aware, and that's consistent. We've had some recent minor subdivisions come through where this has come up as well. And it's something that's consistently applied by the township. So it wasn't explicitly stated in a prior review letter. I just wanted to make it more clear, with this review, so.
Sure. Yep. Understood.
I guess the only other comment that I would have is that they're really, you show the proposed areas, but there weren't any soil testing done in those areas as far as I can see. Test probe or perk tests or anything. So are you planning to do that for the next stage then?
Yes, and the intention, and we appreciate the township looking at this at the sketch phase and providing the comments that you have, is to really just make sure that there weren't any larger, broader issues that we would foresee as a roadblock to actually moving forward with this. I think at this point, based on the comments that we have, the review letter that we have, I think we're comfortable working towards. I believe this would be a minor subdivision plan, submitting something more formal to the township and progressing to, going ahead and doing some of the septic testing and some of the other items that are in here that are requirements. I would think in conjunction with the septic testing, we'd probably also do stormwater infiltration testing as well on the site, just to make sure that we have areas that we can do stormwater management as well. And starting to dive into a little bit more of the specific design details. So that the next submission is addressing a lot of these comments in the review letter.
Yeah, I think that this layout's completely different than the previous one. And I don't think the previous one would have made it. It doesn't. There were some issues with it, code wise. So,
So
amend it to
is this a plan submittal or this is just a
This is a
continuation?
sketch,
All right,
yeah.
so not listed by any means. I just want to make sure we don't look back to it later.
right,
We
right.
should scratch that from the plan submittals, Michelle.
Pardon?
We should scratch that from the plan submittals.
Well, this, yeah, I mean, this is a new plan submittal. They submitted it as a brand new one with a new review fee, new application.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the clock starting to tick.
There is no clock with a sketch plan.
Well, that's what I said. It's not a plan submittal, it's a sketch plan.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's none.
Okay. Ben,
Yep.
square footage wise, the lots are adequate.
I believe so, yeah, that's the one, I will take a look at that real quick, just because I know one of the comments was about the density, need to be adjusted, I just wanna make sure that the overall acreage, that we're taking that density off the right number, so I'll follow up with you tomorrow on that, Chuck, just to make sure we're on the same page.
Great.
Sure. Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Anyone? No?
No.
Gary? No?
I was just looking again, just back to, there's gonna be one well and one septic per lot, or are they gonna be sharing? It's gonna be one and one for each lot.
Yes, one for each
Yes.
lot, correct.
And there's going to be, it's like 2 apartments on each lot.
That's correct,
Okay.
yes.
Okay,
First floor,
Alright.
second floor. Mhm.
first floor, second floor. Okay. Do we know the size of the bedrooms? It's going to be 3 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms? We don't know.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the point yet where we've developed floor plans yet for it. But that's certainly, as we develop into this next phase, we can probably have more information for you as far as what he's thinking for square footage, bedrooms, that type of thing.
Okay, very good. And the parking on the street is not going to interfere with moving traffic? Is there enough space in that roadway for parking on the street without, in the dark at night, an accident occurring?
Yeah, the idea is we would provide off-street parking on each of these lots. So hopefully remove the need to do any on-street parking there.
Okay.
So I believe one of the comments from the review letter was also providing the ITE park generation calculation to justify how many off-street parking spaces would be required.
Okay.
So we would hopefully try to address that with the off-street parking.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, good luck.
Good
Okay,
luck.
and thank you for letting me participate remotely. I appreciate that.
You bet.
That's
Okay.
what we do with technology.
If COVID taught us anything, right?
Right.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank
Thanks, John.
you.
Okay, plan reviews and unfinished business. We just spoke about the sketch plan, and it says sketch plan, it is sketch plan. And then personal care. Home. And time is good on it. Make a motion to table.
And-
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I second.
Motion is second, any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Marshall Square Shopping Center. Time is good. Motion to table.
Motion to table.
We have a motion, we have a second, any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now we come to other reviews, none of those. And then new business. So new business is setting our meeting schedule. Looking for a motion for the third Thursday at 5:30 at the Township Building.
I make a motion for the Thursday at the Township Building,
5:30.
5:30, yeah.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
And continuing ed. Barry, do you have anything for us?
Yes, first class started. Peter has resigned, so we started yesterday. The topic was the value of volunteers throughout Pennsylvania. And it was an interesting subject, and our town has a great number of volunteers, which help to keep costs down as far as hiring. And they made an emphasis on this for smaller locations. People need to look at how many more people they can get in to volunteer. It saves on dollars It's actually comes up into the billions. I didn't get the slides yet, but I will send it to you. But I think our town does very well with having volunteers on most of our necessary committees, which is planning, zoning, and all the other things that we do.
Great. Thank you, Carrie.
You're welcome.
Public comment? Any, no public. Next meeting, March 20th at 5:30. I will not be here. So, Michelle, I won't be here. On March 20th, we'll be away. So, that's it.
Did you wanna bring that up, that you sent me, that personal care home?
Oh, yes, so their, sewer engine that they, use, so basically, currently their lot is served by on-lot septic for the existing house. With them increasing the use, with the additional beds and everything, that was gonna be insufficiently sized. They were exploring the option of connecting to public sewer. They submitted a planning exemption mailer through the township that went up to DEP. And DEP basically said they're outside of the sewer service area and pretty extensive process for them to get approved to go into it. Their engineer was going back and forth with DEP, over the past month or so, and basically sent an email to, Michelle, this afternoon saying it looks like that's a public sewer is a no-go. And basically requesting a refund of the tapping fees that they paid for the EDUs to connect for public sewer. So, looks like they'll be having to evaluate their existing on-lot septic and possibly making modifications to that. That's all I have as far as an update on that project,
Okay.
so.
I missed which property you were talking about with that.
This is,
What was?
sorry, this is for the personal care home.
Okay.
Yeah, one back behind the gas station,
Oh, yes, I know that place well.
Okay,
so,
thanks for sharing that. Anything else to share?
no?
Otherwise, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thanks, everyone.
Stay warm, stay off the ice. Have a good night.
You
You
too.
too.
Bye-bye.